In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the Black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this.
One of the worst I've ever seen. She definitely took notes from the other crappy ones, is how a YouTube comment described OnlyJayus' public apology following just one of her numerous different TikTok controversies.
What is going on with you white saviors that keep trying to defend Jayus for saying N-word lover, bro? You must say it too.
This is what makes OnlyJayus' story unique. Despite having incredibly uncontroversial content,
If you're at a house party and you got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you.
she's found herself in a big
What the fuck?
This will make you seem more. Got a drink in your hand, don't hold it up here by your chest. Try to hold it more down towards your hip. This will make you seem more open and confident, and people will be more willing to come up and talk to you.
She's found herself in a big scandal on the political TikTok battlefield every couple of months for the last 3 years.
At this point, people of color should not be following OnlyJayus.
Why is OnlyJayus more prone to getting involved in these types of controversies? Is it something to do with how she responds to those critical of her?
I barely text my family back, and I just had to move apartments because my address got leaked, and you're gonna throw a fit because I didn't make you my priority?
After a petition to ban OnlyJayus from TikTok garnered over 400,000 signatures, it'd be safe to say that she's a contender for the platform's most hated creator. And while such a title seems unfair without any further information or knowledge, as we go through explaining how this hatred came to be, the reason for this title will become blatantly obvious, and it all began with a tweet made by OnlyJayus on the 9th of April 2020, just 12 months after she began posting videos to the website. I constantly feel like nobody actually likes me, so when I see thousands of hate comments saying, yeah, I never liked OnlyJayus, she's so annoying, Jayus seems like a horrible person, that pushed me to the edge. The harsh and possibly even backwards reality of life is that those who acknowledge and complain about hate only end up receiving more hate. In the beginning, OnlyJayus likely received a pretty standard amount of negative feedback, owing to maybe a slightly annoying delivery as she mentioned in her tweet. The problem that OnlyJayus had was that she really struggled to ignore criticism, and always seemed to give way too much attention to any situation in which there was some kind of negative sentiment against her name.
Guys, all the chat, guys, these days, people say that everything is hate. The whole thing, from banter to criticism to constructed, anything is hate. Anything that isn't sucking your balls is hate. It's why I usually don't like saying the chat is hating, because a lot of it is saying some fucking dumb shit, but at least it's, you know, it's not.
It's gotta be a running theme.
Always mean-spirited. That's why I always tell the chat not to use the word I hate. You dislike a lot of things, you don't hate a lot of things. Hate, it's too deep of a word, man.
Throughout this whole video,
Don't use
but it started with her simple inability to ignore basic negative comments, such as, yeah, I never liked OnlyJayus, which is a pretty tame comment, giving her a foundational reputation as someone who would crack if you simply applied enough pressure. 3 months later, this reputation as a creator who would respond to negative criticism would continue after OnlyJayus discovered that another creator by the name of the Jonathan Moss had been copying some of her videos word for word.
Did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on who you are as a person and the things that could possibly happen to you?
Yo, did you know that your birth month actually has a huge effect on you and the things that can happen to you in your life?
People born in March are way more likely to have asthma, and I can actually speak to this one because my little sister, the only one born in March, has asthma.
People born in March are actually more likely to have asthma, and I can speak to that because my cousin, the only person born in March, has asthma.
OnlyJayus would respond to the copied videos in a tweet reading, TikTok creators should be called out when they copy other TikTok creators' videos word for word, alongside—
I mean, TikTok is all copy. It's copy-paste. Guys, it is, okay, I did.
A video calling out the Jonathan Moss directly. Jonathan responded by stating that he'd simply found the information on Google, and as a result, OnlyJayus was berated and mocked by her audience, with them stating that she was in the wrong for copying the information from Google. This information is from a website. Why are you copying a copier? Copied from Google, then complains when others do the same. Which Business Insider article is this from? There was clearly a bit of an injustice being done here. To state that her information was invalid because it was found on Google has got to be one of the dumbest arguments ever made. What did they expect her to do? Find some old 1850s foundational manuscript covered in dust at the National Library and take her facts from there? Jonathan Moss had clearly copied her videos word for word after OnlyJayus had posted them originally, meaning there was no doubt about who copied who. However, OnlyJayus was still painted as being in the wrong for one simple reason. They knew they could get a reaction out of her if they simply applied enough pressure, which they they eventually would. After receiving hundreds of negative comments on her response, OnlyJayus would take to Reddit stating, he said that he found it on Google, which I mean he did, but only after watching my video. I'm now getting a huge amount of hate, people saying I'm lying. I copied Google too, I'm problematic, I should be cancelled, etc. I have a hard time dealing with the negativity. I still don't know what to do. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Maybe you do, but honestly, I don't see it. Now, you probably wouldn't go so far as to say that OnlyJayus was playing the victim, but she was once again complaining about the circumstances that she had found herself in. And to reiterate the point from earlier, complaining about hate doesn't make it go away, but rather amplifies it, as the audience will look for increasingly petty things to berate you for. With this in mind, it's barely surprising to find out that approximately 6 months later, an old message would be dug up in which OnlyJayus had said the N-word, taking center stage as her brand new colossal-sized controversy.
I love you no matter your sex, your gender, your sexuality, your faith, or your race.
I guess that didn't age well, because this you at the bottom calling someone the hard ER, a word used to oppress black people. That's why I don't trust people with savior complexes, bro. I feel like it's always a second agenda behind what you do. If you say it's 2 to 3 years old, you were 20 years old when you said it. The other day, Addison was canceled for old BLM tweets from 2016. Let's see if everyone keeps the same energy. You're a role model to 10 million people, bro. I hope things get better, and I hope you educate.
Jesus, that was pretty well level-headed.
There were a couple of comments in support of OnlyJayus, however, as a whole, and understandably, the response was mostly negative. All these white people saying, it happened 4 years ago. Literally, it doesn't matter. She did it and needs to take responsibility. The hard ER, she's done. And at OnlyJayus, you got caught in 4K. The best way that Jayus could have responded to this expose would have either been no response at all, or a short, cool, calm, collected, unemotional post or video. Alternatively, she could have thrown a real curveball and simply said, I'm not sorry, which would have actually been respectable, as it's 100 times harder than simply getting in front of the camera and blurting out some pre-written stupid script with the goal of suppressing the criticism in the short term. However, with a track record like OnlyJayus, obviously she did none of these, and rather posted a long, emotionally charged, scripted, generic social media apology, which felt as though it was designed to trick the audience into coming away with a specific feeling, as is usually the case with these types of public apologies.
And there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better. And when I first saw the screenshots, I didn't even think that they were real, because I forgot how hateful.
Show yours what? Your what? She says it shows yours. Show yours what?
And how angry of a person I used to be.
Another YouTuber slash TikToker by the name of Papa Gut, who spoke to Jayus on the phone prior to the apology, thought that the intentions were sincere and that the apology was simply delivered poorly.
I actually had a conversation, a private phone call conversation with Jayus about this situation. She seemed pretty...
Guys, my apology video, okay, was a one take, okay, maybe 2 takes, because the first time there was a problem with me sitting down in the chair because of the debris in the room. I had to clear the debris, okay. Is no script, 1 take, Andy. You wanna know why it's easy for me to apologize in these videos? Easy? Because the mistake isn't that crazy, right? And the explanation comes from the heart or from the head. I don't have to script it. Why do you have to script it? You don't have to script an apology. If you actually feel sorry and you feel like you did something wrong, it's easy to go on camera and do it 1 tap. It's very easy.
Sincere about how sorry she was. Again, like I said, I thought she was being genuine. What she produced was rough. It was less than stellar.
Others such as Freak the Gemini were less optimistic.
What? Hey, what's up everyone? This is xQc from the Dallas Fuel. Today's video is going to be a little different. Okay. The only reason why this took 2 takes is, like I said, the first time there's so too many boxes. Okay, what doesn't matter. Different than other videos, obviously. It's not something I want to do too often on this channel, obviously. Okay, stop. Why are you linking this, man?
You literally hit us with a
Why are you linking this, man? Why are you linking this? Man? It's cringe.
All that suspense just for it to be trash. The worst insult you could tell somebody was liking black people.
It's not fun, dude. That nobody asked me to do. Not that Blizzard or Dallas Fuel, obviously. Not my owner, not my colleagues, not my teammates. It's something that really comes from me. And if I get into trouble for doing this, then so be it. So these are my thoughts about the whole situation with the punishment and the actual throwing in ranked that I did, and the suspension I've gotten, the 7 days, and obviously the competitive ruling that is soon to come out, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't talked to Blizzard about it, but... Now look back at it, everybody threw in ranked, okay?
Wow.
Everybody threw in ranked, okay? Mother sucker. And a lot of people down the line end up throwing in the league, and nobody got suspended. Nobody got banned. Only I did. Okay, looking back at this is fucking bullshit. This is fucking ridiculous.
Some more consequences are coming, I'm pretty sure. I'd like to start off and say that obviously it was super deserved, and what I did was not okay, and nothing in this video will excuse my behavior.
This was a fine video, dude. You can go watch it if you want. It was fine.
I mean, you do a frog anyways. You got the chat proposal.
Yo, you're crazy. Thanks to 80 snakes, man. I appreciate that, man. Thanks to all the small snakes. I appreciate that, man. Big love, dude. I'm skipping that. I'm not watching that shit.
Wow.
What do you say?
So you could tell somebody was liking black people. Wow.
With the scandal being shared across every platform imaginable, OnlyJayus would also lose all of her sponsors, as well as a Netflix podcast she'd been hosting by the name of Know It All. At Tinder, this is what your walking ad is saying. She has a Netflix podcast. Everyone needs to tag at Netflix.
Netflix has cut ties with Jayus. Big dubs.
OnlyJayus was clearly feeling the pressure, and understandably wanted to make things right with her audience. So she'd end the apology by stating that she wanted to
share my platform with some amazing black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language.
Which would eventually result in her and another African-American content creator by the name of Aunt Karen agreeing to collaborate on OnlyJayus' channel. In addition to this, 2 weeks after the apology, OnlyJayus would go to the effort of posting a video talking about how she had read a book on anti-racism.
The first book that I decided to pick up was How to Be Anti-Racist by Dr. Ibram Kendi, and this will push readers that think that they're not racist into being something better.
To her credit, she did acknowledge that it was a grift in the title, stating, "I know it might come off as performative, talking about this at the end of Black History Month, but I'm trying to just educate myself and use my platform for good." However, her audience wasn't buying any of the lies.
Why
I bet
is
after
she
this
trying
video, she
so
just tossed
hard?
the book like it's nothing. That seems like an amazing book for you, but I think you missed some pages. Maybe you missed a few chapters? Read it again. But hey, at least she was still in the process of sharing her platform with some other black content creators as she promised, right? Well, no.
So this message is for you, OnlyJayus, after your whole N-word debacle. Said you want to collaborate with me. We email, and suddenly you've dropped off the face of the earth. Are black people just tokens for you to use when you're ready to play? If you were really truly sorry about what you said, you would not have lied and said you were going to do something you clearly aren't trying to do.
The TikTok essentially outlined that after agreeing to collaborate, OnlyJayus would ghost this creator by the name of Aunt Karen once everyone had forgotten about the drama. Now, to OnlyJayus' credit, Aunt Karen's callout was even more pathetic than Jayus' original apology, because setting up a collaboration with another creator can be incredibly difficult. There's always problems relating to difference in content style, difference in schedule, difference in time zones, the problem of coming up with a video idea that will be a hit with both audiences, what part of the script do I allocate to the other person, etc, etc. Yet, Aunt Karen's argument in the callout was, because OnlyJayus ghosted me, she's therefore a racist.
Why not just be racist? Just say you're racist.
Now, maybe there was some racism involved in the decision, who knows? But it's still a lazy, low-hanging fruit argument designed to create drama out of the highly likely reality, being that collaborations are just incredibly difficult to set up successfully. In addition to this, a feature on OnlyJayus' page with over 10 million followers is going to cost a brand probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and despite OnlyJayus offering one of these spots to Aunt Karen for free, Aunt Karen still seemed to narcissistically think that she was the one providing OnlyJayus with the opportunity.
I really gave you an opportunity. I really said, you know what, Aunt Karen? Let's see what she has to say. Let's see how we can mutually help each other.
Aunt Karen's callout was entitled and poorly thought out, but
Yeah,
not
this is
invalid
a
for
fucking
one simple
joke,
reason.
man.
OnlyJayus made a promise. There are obviously exceptions, but most of the time, if you say you're going to do something publicly, you have to follow through with it or people are going to notice. Jayus would initially discuss the ghosting in an Instagram voice message.
So I am sorry for basically ghosting you. I didn't mean to do that. I just have a very chaotic schedule and ADHD on top of that, so I genuinely just forgot. It wasn't me trying to ignore you. You could have just hit me up again, but instead you decided to go public and try to add public pressure onto me, and that's not cool, so I don't want to collaborate.
Which will once again receive a response from Aunt Karen, explaining that she had emailed OnlyJayus multiple times with no reply.
You're gonna put it on me? In your voicemail, you said I should have emailed you again? April 4th, I emailed you. How many times do you expect me to message you, waiting on you to continuously ghost me.
Now, OnlyJayus probably could have left it at that, and the drama would have been over within 4 weeks.
No.
However, as Papa
Oh,
Gut said
God.
most accurately,
For whatever reason, JS doesn't know how to just stop. Like, when somebody criticizes JS, JS responds, and that's the worst thing.
and in classic OnlyJayus fashion, she'd post another emotionally charged response to the drama.
Today's episode of What Are People Mad at Me For Now? Not checking my emails in a timely manner. I wish I was joking. Forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted to collab with me, and you know, instead of just like hitting me up again, they made 7 videos about it. Can you please leave me the f alone? I have a diagnosed neurological disorder that makes me forget things and procrastinate due to time blindness. I forget to eat for days. I procrastinate sleep.
We mentioned earlier that the more attention OnlyJayus gave to each of these scandals, the more she'd be held accountable for increasingly petty incidents. Well, after this explosive response,
Guys, I feel like it's kind of a hazard that somebody's driving the car with somebody like that in the car.
attention OnlyJayus gave to each of these scandals, the more she'd be held accountable for increasingly petty incidents. Well, after this explosive response, the things that her audience would call her out on were taken to the absolute extreme. For example, she would post this video.
You can get your letters delivered for free without any postage if you just put where you want it to go on the return address instead of where it's actually supposed to be.
Which would get the post office activists involved with comments such as, yes, please encourage people to do activities that cause the already failing post office to lose more money. Or when she posts this video,
The post office TikTok activists. Why is that a thing? Why is that a
saying
thing?
nothing more than what degree
Why
she
is that a
did.
thing?
So I got my college degrees in math and computer science, which means that I was never really good at writing.
To receive comments such as, I thought you would have majored in saying slur sciences. However, it eventually got to the point where OnlyJayus couldn't even make jokes anymore without being cancelled. Seriously. On the 23rd of May 2021, OnlyJayus would post the following video.
If a service dog ever approaches you but they're alone, that means that their owner's in trouble and they probably can't move, so you should follow him, because you'll get a free wallet.
It was clearly a light-hearted joke, summed up in comments such as, she probably said the wallet thing to lighten the mood of something bad. Obviously she wouldn't take a wallet and probably knew that most people would. Bro, do people get this as a joke? Y'all are so sensitive. However, the rest of her audience simply saw yet another opportunity to put OnlyJayus through another period of hardship. Can't believe this is still up. It's obvious that it's a joke, but some people may still do it. It could start a trend. What you post on the internet reaches so many people, and some of those people may be inconsiderate or apathetic towards others and do something wrong as a joke that highly affects another
Guys,
person.
in what world these people live, do you think it's going to be a trend of following service dogs for wallets?
Take some YouTube and TikTok prank channels for example.
When is it going to be enough to say OnlyJayus is not a good creator, should not be followed, and should not be listened to? My child, they are a service dog user. This is not a kind of joke you want to be putting out there. It's not funny to anybody who uses a service dog.
With all this in mind, the petition with over 400,000 signatures to have OnlyJayus banned is barely a surprise. She dug herself into a hole by displaying an inability to switch off from the audience after being involved in scandal after scandal after scandal. Sometimes criticism from the audience is genuine and can be spotted easily because it's worded in a constructive way, but a lot of the time, without them even realizing it, people write mean or critical things just to see if you're the type of person to crack, respond, or apologize, as has been the case throughout OnlyJayus' entire TikTok career. She's been tested over and over and over, yet has been unable to switch off and let things go whenever she's been put under pressure. As an end result, there's not only a loss of respect, but also a never-ending freight train of negativity and hatred.
True. Yep. I actually agree with most of his points in the video. That was a good video. I enjoyed that.